and he gave it a try, and the United States took advantage of him, and the United States, okay, we won the historical battle, the end of history. What's his name? Fukuyama. Francis Fukuyama. That wasn't the end of history, that was the end of that cycle. And the U.S., what did they do with the win? They had the world on their side. They had everything going for them. And if you're talking about somebody winning the lottery and getting rich and blowing it, it's the United States. Tell the truth, the guy blew it. In 1989, they had the whole world. They could have fixed things at that time. But what did they do? Day one, they went over, let's whoop on the Iraqis. So they go over there in the first Gulf War, in that line of death, and they just slaughtered the Iraqis. And then they come back later on and do it again. And what did this white lady said? They said 750,000 children have died in Iraq. What do you think? She says, I think it's worth it. You remember that? She said, yeah, I think it's worth 750,000 children. It's worth it. From their little boycotts and stuff. And they left Saddam with enough helicopters and everything to fight the Shia. Because remember, they was telling the Shias, rise up. You could hear George Bush and the dumb Shia, not the dumb Shia, but some of them took the bait. And they left Saddam enough down. They did more slaughtering of Shias in that period than they did in other. They just slaughtered them. And the U.S. told them. So now what I'm getting at is everybody got a big package of U.S. history, right? Can they go out and U.S. intervention? So they went down to Panama. Everywhere they went, you sell dope for them, they come and then they'll put you in jail and have you on the list. You are a bad boy. You are selling dope, Noriega. Oh, my Lord, what we going to do about that, right? The U.S. has double-crossed in front of everybody, right? Marcos in the Philippines. It don't make no difference. What is his name? The wife had 3,000 pair of shoes. Imelda Marcos, yeah. And then when it's time for them to go, so the world is saying, are you Ukrainians crazy to believe that fool? Oh, we love you. You go out there and get yourself some freedom. So Putin was telling, hey, man, y'all going, you're going to upset the balance here. And I'm not going to have y'all sitting on my doorstep talking all that jive. We're not going to do that. Now, you can do what you want, but I'm just telling you what we're going to do. So they said, we got him. We got him. More. Now, Ukrainians should have more sense than to be sent anywhere by the Americans. Whenever the America buy you a ticket, boy, it's for hell. It's got hell wrote on it. You just can't read the hieroglyphics, right? The United States, they don't send nobody. Look, wherever you going, it ain't gonna be no fun there. Now he not gonna be on the ticket with you. He think he going somewhere else. This time, they all going together, and I'll try to explain it. So what we see in the news today, there's several things about it. Part of it is to divert the attention away from the U.S. problems and to organize the U.S. mind. When they have a war, the president's unity goes up. But at the end of that cycle, that time, those things don't work anymore. They won't work because the United States, they got, let's say half of the United States is Trumpites, right? And half is so-called Democrats with this guy, but none of them are swallowing that line except the Zionist media that's telling them this is what's happening. But nobody in Europe, you can't tell the Europeans anymore, we want y'all to pay $10 a gallon or $5, $3 a liter for gas. I think they already is. Unbelievable. And this gas, the gas in California was $5 and $6 a gallon. $5.50, was it $5.50? Huh?
It was at least $5. It was at least $5 last I looked at it. I think I did see one spot that was upper fives.
Yeah.
Almost six.
Yeah, that's right. And that was that was couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, just remember how much money it costs to fill your tank up if gas is $4.50 or $5. And wages are not going up. Inflation in America is, I mean, just like somebody stuck inflation on a plane, and instead of putting it in the water, they just flew it off, and it gets going on up, right? Right now, today, when you go to the store tomorrow and you remember what you paid last week, it's inflated. Some people are telling me some of the stores are empty-ish. Well, I can see that they're empty, but when you hear it from everybody else, you say, hey, man, this is really, they're empty-ish. Okay. Can you imagine the condition that the United States of America is in? And instead of trying to help the people, bring the oil prices down, instead of trying to help the Europeans bring the gas prices and all the prices down in the wintertime, you know, what is it that you can't ameliorate the rhetoric and tell your friends this is not the time to do what, because that's who tells them what to do, the U.S. And especially the Russians now are waiting, and they're going to put all of that out, WikiLeaks it out, whatever. They already was putting it out, but they were saving stuff, right? And it didn't look bad. I mean, it did look bad for everybody in the U.S. It was looking bad for all the people. It was shenanigans in the Ukraine. It wasn't upright honesty, that type of thing. It was like eye-rolling Ukraine, right? And all the people involved. And then you mix in there Nazis and what have you, and the U.S. is being friendly with Nazis after the Russians lost 28, 29, 27 million people to the Nazis, right? And they don't expect them to do nothing. This is why we're saying that this is a little different than half a league, half a league, half a league onward. But into the valley of death rode the 600. Into the valley of psychological inability to realize where you are, right? The Americans have forgot when they say we're over there for truth and freedom and justice, and everybody started laughing. No matter what the dumb UN say, how much they got to pay them people to say that stuff in the UN, right? And it goes longer than 4 or 5 days. And there the prices go up, and here the prices go up, right? And we already had inflation. Hey, that man is dumb. He's dumb. He don't have no wind. It ain't nothing. He don't get nothing but rhetoric, free rhetoric. And the more he talk, the deeper he get in SHIT. The deeper he gets, right? Because the world news, if you listen to the world news, they're not going for it. Only public radio and a few of them. But then when you counterbalance that and you mix in RT and you mix in the RT radio and you mix in news from Iran and Chinese news, everybody is, you said somebody is lying here. And who has a history? Chinese news, no matter what you say, is accurate, right? RT has to be accurate because if they tell one lie, they'll publicize it all over the world. So they have to be accurate. They have real people on there that ask real quick. Of course, they're pro-Russian, but now we'll move on. So the NATO alliance, very possible that it'll be weakened by this because it's already weakened. It's not stronger because the United States is saying it. And the Russians, and the Germans, the French, and everybody is saying, man, what you doing ain't right. This ain't right. You know what I mean? And they are from over there, so they know who's did what. All of them have an intelligence agency. The French have a good one. Even the British got a good one. So they all know that something is wrong. Counter distractions actions. So what we're doing today, we're countering the distractions. Our action is that it's a counter move. It's us exposing the United States when they still floating on a cloud. They still talking out the side of their mouth. Well, we're not riding with them. We're not riding with them. Let me see who the heck this is. Okay. We're not with them. So the desire to divert attention, it doesn't work to divert it away from, excuse me 1 second. Salam alaikum, I'm in class right now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Will you be done?
It's going to be a while, but I may not, I have to put off anything I said maybe till tomorrow sometime. Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Okay. So, divert attention, focus for China, Russia, and Iran. Now, we have a strategic alliance now that's organized. This is a fight. This is the grab for the world. It would automatically be. The United States got a free gift, but you think about it, that was over 30 years ago, and they didn't use it. They used it to actually the opposite. They didn't do nothing to help humanity. They didn't do nothing to help humanity. They had a free ride. Everybody joining NATO, and everybody getting away from Russia, mean old Russia. But it's not like that now. It's not mean old Russia anymore. Russia didn't help to crush the thing in Syria, right? Russia didn't actually help in Africa. Russia has a better reputation than most of the people because they went there. You know, in South Africa, the Cubans, which was hooked up with the Russians, but the Cubans, and most of them was black, they went over there and they whooped South Africa's behind. And when they want to find out, when old Clinton went over there and told Mr. Mandela, we want you to kind of stay away from those Cubans. So I was watching TV. Clinton was standing there. He says, whoever says something like that to us, and he says, those people was with us in our darkest hour. And he told them, you could jump in a pool. This is what we used to say when we was a kid, jump in the lake, swallow a snake, and come out with a bellyache. So he was telling them not the full thing. Jump in a pool, that's the same as jump in the lake. In other words, you can go to hell. You can go to hell. Those people, hey man, when people was verbally with us, but they sent Cuban troops to Angola. From Angola, they came in on the